Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and it's time to review The Woman King, directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood. You know, Hollywood doesn't give us that many historical epics anymore, but here we are. We have a new one, and this one takes place in Africa, which is something that they have not done before, telling history from a country where the history is often overlooked. The best part about this movie is how much the white people learn from the African people. That was a joke. The movie is about a group of female warriors who are striving to maintain the power of their colony without succumbing to pressures from the Europeans to just become like a slave trading colony. The colony does participate in slave trading with the people that they capture from other tribes. And there is some debate about like whether this participation is necessary for them to thrive. And this is the impetus for Viola Davis to lead her tribe into a world where there is no selling of slaves. I thought the historical element was fascinating, but the movie doesn't focus that much on it. This is really more of an action picture, and you get Viola Davis as the general, and Thuso Mbedu is the young warrior who is trying to prove herself. And these sort of ingredients create what I would honestly say is a little bit of a generic studio action film. Like, obviously, apart from the fact that the location and the people that it's about is very different. Yeah. I do agree that the story hits all the familiar beats from what we've seen in historical epics, which is also to say that I think most people are going to be very happy with this movie. It does feel like a multiplex movie. It gives you the action sequences. It is somewhat character driven. You get some emotional moments between the characters that are really nice. Although I just kind of felt like the story was in such familiar territory that I don't think I was invested as others seem to be in this movie. Yeah, I was kind of craving a film where it would light up my brain a little bit more, at least with some ideas, but there's not that much going on here. There is some really interesting stuff with Viola Davis's character and her past and her trauma that I did find engrossing. And the dynamic between her and Thuso Mbedu really kept me invested throughout. Without that, I don't think this would have worked for me, but this makes it work. I would have probably liked to see even more of Viola Davis. I would say she has very similar screen time to Thuso Mbedu, if not a little bit less, but her presence in the film makes her definitely feel like a lead. Viola Davis, whenever I see her and stuff, I always want more. I always think, oh my God, you can give so much to so little. There is one scene at the very end, pretty much, where she just does some phenomenal acting. It's this moment of quiet for her, and you can see her character take everything in that's happened. I could probably revisit that clip alone and like not even in context, and it would give me the feels. Like I actually did shed some tears based on how strong these two performances were, because the ending was very heartfelt and did lend a lot to these characters in a way that I didn't quite feel the rest of the film did. Thuso Mbedu is just incredible. Like I really do feel like she could do anything. Whenever the camera is on her, like you just know exactly what is going on with this character and what she's feeling. And there are some really good supporting performances in this. Lashana Lynch, I feel like, is kind of a star in this movie. And John Boyega as the king has some great moments too. Yeah, he surprised me because initially with the casting, I was like, I don't know if I see him being the king, but the way he speaks immediately made me feel this is a king. The whole cast is really stellar, and I think that they are definitely the best part of the film. Other elements to discuss, the cinematography from Polly Morgan. This is a good looking movie. However, I kind of feel the same way about this as I do about other parts of the film, where I would have liked to see some bolder choices made in the crafts department and with the direction. I think it feels overall like a step up from a normal Hollywood film, but I would like to have seen it go a little further. Like I didn't feel totally immersed in the locations because I could tell that there was like studio lighting. Personally, maybe I would have preferred more natural lighting or more shadow. And I think like the color scheme and the way that the characters are lit, it's often the same, and it doesn't really change that much from place to place. Like the nighttime scenes, it's always like an orange kind of edge glow and then blue on the faces. It's just not that adventurous in terms of its filmmaking overall. Like there weren't that many bold directing choices. The music I actually didn't like, and a lot of people are commenting that they think the music is great. There is a lot of music, but it feels predictable. It's how you'd expect music to be utilized. And this one was really into using strings. It didn't really have that much flavor of the time and place. I don't like the warm studio sounding strings whenever any character becomes emotional. I think that the color grade is great and the cinematography is mostly very good. I was very pleased that there was like barely any CGI in this movie, and when it was used, it was almost totally unnoticeable or like very far in the background. Like this does not look like a Disney production, which I was very happy about. The costumes and production design were very good though. I would not mind if either was nominated at the Oscars. It was a little over edited, I thought. And you know, some of the combat was like, there was some good choreography going on, but it felt a little blurry, just the overall presentation of the combat sometimes. Although, like, there were a lot of moments that were, like, you know, really brutal, and the audience was like, ooh, you know, they had that stuff. Most people are going to be really into that shit. But again, like, I like these kind of movies a little less than others. Most people are going to be really into what this movie's doing.
It's also not my kind of movie, and I did realize that in the first scene when it's the female warriors attacking another tribe, and it's like really brutal stuff, and it's like that kind of thing with a lot of like stabbing sounds and machetes just tearing flesh apart. There's definitely like purpose to that, but I don't like particularly enjoy that. Like that in itself is not enjoyable to me. That's not like why I would go see a movie.
And overall, I did want a little more out of our main character. I didn't think they gave her that much. Like she wants to be part of this group and community to avoid life as just a wife to a guy she doesn't want to be with. And she has morals that sometimes go against like the code, but I didn't know if I saw like much of an arc in this character or that much like deeper or to chew on. Viola Davis's character, a little more of that.
My feelings on the movie overall is that it was good. Suzu Mabedu and Viola Davis did make this worth seeing. I'm somewhere between a 6 and a 7 here. And I'm just going to leave you at that.
I would go to a 7. Some of you are saying the Oscar expert, Brother Bro, could this movie get Oscar nominations? The reviews are very good. If the movie became a big sensation and really blew up at the box office, I think there would be potential. However, I'm not really convinced that that would happen. Like, you know, this is an original movie we're talking about. I think the superhero market really has a hold on battle epic movies right now.
I mean, the lack of IP and the big budget just means that it's facing an uphill battle in order to make its money back.
If it did do really, really well, though, I mean, I think it could get costumes either way. Production design, maybe makeup, maybe score. Enough people like it. I would probably go just costumes right now.
I'm just skeptical that this would get nominations. I even have the tough time seeing, you know, the performances getting in, even though I did think those were outstanding.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
Will you fight back against your colonizers?